because I hadn't recorded yet. So now it's recording. So our topic tonight is freedom. Being the first week of July, we like to choose to talk about freedom. It's fitting with the time. Canada Day was on the 1st, and on the 4th is Independence Day. So it's just fitting. Everybody's in that mindset. If you remember kind of the story of how we gained the freedom of our countries. And then I challenge you to each individually, either during, while we're talking, or after this, think about, what does freedom mean to you? Like the little pieces of freedom, the freedoms that we forget about each day, like the fact that you can go to the faucet and just turn it on and maybe you have running water, or, you know, just the list of all the simple things, and maybe the pieces of your freedom that are really special to you, like maybe the freedom that you can go for a walk if you want to. Maybe the freedom that you can pick up the phone and call somebody that you love or that you want to talk to. Whatever freedoms are precious to you, pause and reflect on that, because I really do believe that the things that we're grateful for and are aware of and appreciate, we bring more of that same kind of thing or people towards us. Whereas if we're thinking about lack and scarcity and what we don't have, maybe we're going to attract more than that. So just a thought to ponder as we get into it. I don't usually do anything scripted, but just because this is a really important topic, and if you read the content, the copy on the page of your invite to register for tonight, I just want to read through that, and there's a reason for that. It's because that specific copy is about a quarter of a piece of copy that I wrote about 3 years ago. And why is that important? Well, it kind of goes back to what I said just a moment ago, and what you think and what you talk about and the language that you use, the thoughts, what's in your mind as knowledge and what's in your heart as what you're passionate to. If that's really common to you, like if that becomes common and regular, you attract that. It's true. It works. If it's something that you resonate with other people. And the 3 special guests that we're going to introduce, it's a prime example of how that happens. So here's the thing. I've been using this language for a few years now. And Tammy was thinking in the same way. We started the conversation realizing our similarities 1 year ago, just over a year ago. And what ballooned into a community in the last year is just amazing, right? And so we start these conversations with Jason and Joe in the last few weeks here, and realize that all of us feel like we're looking in the mirror, because they too have been thinking and using this kind of language. So what you speak, what you think, what you know, what you're passionate about, that's what you move towards, and that's what moves towards you. So that's why, just maybe ponder. And so you've maybe skimmed over the words during your invite, and I would just ask you to just patiently listen as I read through them and contemplate really what it means to you, because it's part of the vision of what we're all doing here and why we're all together and why everybody is growing so much within this unstoppable community. So here's the thing. We have a greater connectivity and entrepreneur empowerment than ever before. And it was true 3 years ago, and it's even more true right now today, and it's expanding probably faster than ever this year in 2016. Entrepreneurs and consumers can literally turn on their demands 24 hours a day. Isn't that incredible? Mm-hmm. Driven in an on-demand culture, a culture of change. So I challenge you to think about that culture of change. Are you embracing it? Are you ready for it? Do you need to learn more? Do you need to be within a community that is exactly doing that and can help you? Distribution and a shift of technology, that's what we're talking about, can enhance, and it can also distract. Therefore, we choose to create a community where you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So that point of distraction and enhance, if you're in a community that holds you accountable, it'll help you keep focused in all of these amazing, incredible options that we're introduced to. So melding offline and online, and here comes the incredible part of the community. We have people of different skill sets, right? People with massive offline knowledge and expertise, and you meld that with the power of digital online, it just blows my mind. So these marketing strategies are just incredible. All will enhance the relationship building more typical in offline marketing and bring that online. Therefore, hence we humanize digital marketing. That's what we're doing here. All of you as an audience, and even the panelists, we're all listening and watching each other, but you're looking in our eyes. So that's another reason why I kind of want to read these powerful words, because you're looking in my eyes and you're seeing, like I'm putting my face to it. I have nothing I post in the digital arena is anything but true. And I have no problem putting my face to it, my voice. We're true. We're as true and real and authentic as you can find. Now, where was I? I lost my line. Oh yeah, we're humanizing. and then it shifts back to people helping people, and that's why we're here. We even tried earlier to help each other pick our noses, but doesn't quite work this way. And hence the final line that I'll leave you with, we're all selling the same thing. We're all selling freedom. So on that note, that's kind of my main piece that I wanted to start this off with, and we're going to try to keep to that topic, freedom, and why we're here all as an unstoppable community. Tammy, take it away, girl.
Okay, awesome. Wow, I'm just blown away. I totally agree with what you say tonight. And, you know, the thing about it is when you have a dream and a vision and then you start seeing it come to fruition like this, it's awesome. So it's really almost surreal. You know what I mean? So when I first started online, we didn't have this kind of platform. You know, we just had the phone and we just had the fax, and, you know, it's like crazy, right? So now we're able to have this kind of platform and people can really network and get to know each other. And the freedom for me is just been mind-blowing. In the past year, just since I've met you, Susan, I've been able to have a physical transformation, not only is physical, but 115 pounds now gone, because of one choice and one, like, it was almost like, wow, I got to do it. Like, it was just like a snap decision. Someone asked me to be on one of these. So if you're listening and you're like, you know what? I don't know if I can do what these guys are doing. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you do it, your life's going to change. Like, literally, if you jump in with both feet, this is what I've always done, though, my whole life. I've been an entrepreneur for 29 years. But Susan's like, hey, you want to hop on a Hangout with me and tell your story? So a year ago, I did. And I was like, really, I didn't want to do video. You know, I'm like a lot of the offline guys. You know, my background is mortgage and finance, a real estate investor for 15 years. And, you know, and I was like, okay, I love big ticket. You know what I mean? I'm doing great and I'm having my freedom, but to humanize it, I knew I had to do that. So that's what I did, the freedom. Because of doing that, I've grown personally. It's just amazing. And it's quite a mindset shift, because it's like, okay, we're going to do Hangouts every week, she tells me. So I'm like, okay, then I better start walking. So by golly, I did. So I've walked, I'm celebrating my 400th day, I believe it is today, of nonstop walking. And we're unstoppable. And the word unstoppable, I think, is just embedded in my brain. So I have an unstoppable business partner. I have unstoppable team members. And now we have, you know, unstoppable people come into our Hangout. And it's the most phenomenal thing. And it's like-minded. What frees me in every single day is seeing other people succeed, if that makes sense. So, you know, once you are successful, you want to see other people successful. It's just human nature. You know what I mean? So that to me is freeing. And just knowing that we have a system that can generate, you know, the kind of money that we all desire in life is just icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? So for me, and some people may not know the pain that I went through But I went through a lot of pain. I couldn't get on an airplane because I couldn't buckle my seatbelt. They had to give me an extension. So when I got to fly to Texas with Susan, that was the first time I didn't have to have an extension for my seatbelt. So not only could I be there with her, experience and help her through her stem cells, she went through a stem cell treatment, I was able to say, dang it, I did it. You know what I mean? So that's freedom to me. It's not always about the money. It's what money and options can do for you in your life. And that's just, it's just mind-blowing, the kind of change that you can absolutely succeed in, and anybody can do what I do. And anybody can do what Susan does, or the rest of the people on the panel. It's just you have to get started. So back to you, Susan. I hope I explained that okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That was awesome. So who wants to speak next? Any jumpers?
Jason. Jason.
Yeah, I'll raise my hand. I'm not shy. You know, first of all, it's an honor to be here. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Tammy, for inviting us to hang out with mentors. And I'm really excited about the conversations that we've had over the past few weeks, and really how things are evolving, not only in my mind, but actually coming to fruition. And, you know, it's a long, I don't want to bore everybody to death, because I do have a long story. Me and Joe go back probably close to 20 years now. Matter of fact, it was Joe right down there below me. I think that's below me now. That's the thing, is you can't really tell where people are at. But there he is. Joe was actually the first person that I listened to in my big ticket. You know, for me to come into the big ticket, it was Joe that was actually hosting a conference call that I listened to back when I was 24 years old. And he was so good and he was so polished. I'm like, man, this is cool. I want to do this. And that was my first leap. But I remember, you know, standing on stage, being a top income earner in that particular company. And the theme came up just like it is now, freedom. What does freedom mean to you? Well, freedom is basically having the feeling and knowing that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want, no matter what. You wake up when your eyes open, you go to sleep when you're tired. You know, you do the things that you want to do when you want to do them. And that's what being an entrepreneur has allowed me to do, and being a marketer and in the top tier industry. And the beautiful thing is, I remember back then when Tammy was saying all we did is had phone calls and fax on demand. I mean, I remember getting off the conference call, because I'm a phone guy, I know the phone, and my sponsor at the time said, hey, do you have a fax machine? I was like, what the heck is a fax machine? I didn't even know what a fax machine was. Okay, and they said, well, here, take this number down and go to your local Kinko's and tell them you want to pull up a fax on demand. So I went to Kinko's, got the fax on demand, came home, read it, and sure enough, it was just the words, you know, a written explanation of what I had already heard on the conference call. And I was like, well, you know what, that's really a neat little system. And, you know, again, being on stage, that was where it realized to me that I wish I could just reach out and grab people through the phone by the back of their head and say, look at what we've got, you know. And now with today's technology, I mean, that's basically what we're doing, is we're coming through people's computer, letting them know that, hey, yes, we are real. Like Susan said in the beginning, this is authentic. People can look in our eyes, and they can see that we're real people, and we have a system. There is a system to generate money, and it's unfortunate that it takes money to make things go around, but it does. So take advantage of it and be part of something that's, man, I'm losing words because I'm so excited about where we're heading and what we're doing. Just even thinking about this platform and how we can utilize this platform to really have other people bring their people to see what we're doing, and looking forward to live events, hanging out with everybody live, and as Joe would say, Joe does a really cool firewalk, and looking forward to that. So we really ought to plan a get together here real soon. And I could literally talk all night if you hand me the mic. So I'll just go ahead and turn it back to you, because I know we've got a few other people that want to talk. Freedom is basically doing what you want when you want to do it with whom you want. And I had the freedom to come here tonight to join all of you, and I appreciate it, and I'm thankful for it, and I look forward to doing it a lot more often.
Thanks, Jason. I can, speaking for myself, I'm very grateful that you chose to be here with us. It's an absolute honor to have you.
Me too. Very grateful.
Awesome.
I'll jump in.
Okay.
And I promise I'll keep it to 90 minutes or less, okay?
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, here's one of the things that's coming up for me, right? Freedom, okay? I've been in this free enterprise stuff, as Jason said. It was 20 years ago that he was invited to a conference call, and I was the host of the conference call. And I've been doing that stuff, and I've been very effective at that stuff, and I've made a fortune. I've made a ton of money. I've made 7 figures over and over again, and I had to keep making it over and over again because I kept losing it and burning it over and over again. So freedom isn't really free, okay? You have to do the work. But it is wonderful, right? To live a life of choice, get up when you want. I choose to get up early in the morning. You get to do what you want, when you want, with whomever you want. But it isn't free. You have to do the work. And what we have here, and this is what I'm really excited about with our program, is we have a program, and I know the top tier. I've been doing it for 20 years. Jason said I was a firewalker. I owned a top tier company for 6 years. I know what it takes. And I will tell you that this program here, the thing we have here, is so doable. 100% of the people who apply themselves will have success 100% of the time. I can say that with absolute certainty. However, it does take work. It takes consistency. It takes showing up every single day and managing the emotional roller coaster, the highs and the lows. And that's what really is, that is the trick. And I have found in the last, certainly in the last 5 or 6 years, as Jason said, when we got started back 20 years ago, there was no internet. It didn't exist. Cell phones, actually, it was like a suitcase. Remember the cell, you actually carry it on a shoulder? Okay, cell phones were like, there were no cell phones. We used to measure our success by the size of our telephone bill. You know, it was not uncommon to have a $2,000, $3,000 telephone bill, right? Sending postcards. It was a very, very expensive experience. And things have changed so much. And what we have right now, right here, this ability to communicate in this level has revolutionized the entire world. But I will say that it carries with it some pitfalls, okay? And this is where this alliance here is, this is what is so cool, is because the transparency that is here, okay? You know who this team is. They're available. They actually, I see you guys, you're actually putting your cell phone numbers in blind emails that you're sending to your list. Totally accessible, right? We share our knowledge, we share our experience, a total open book. And that's going to change the playing field for so many people. You know, the internet is such a scary place, right? You don't know who's on the other end. You don't know who you're giving your credit card to. I have experiences with that all the time. But this opportunity to actually come to people live every single day, you know, for Pure Profit Pro, you guys know that's one of our, we have Tidem and we have Pure Profit Pro. Every single morning, every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I do a live radio broadcast on Blog Talk Radio for our group every single day. We have people show up, they can communicate, they can, you know, they can exchange ideas. It's an open forum. And it's very, very important because we are real people. We are here every single day. Every day, a real voice, a real human being, and that is a big game changer. And I'll close with this. This is the thing that really has me excited because I talked about, you know, like you, Tam, and all of us have had, you know, significant events along the way. My company, we were doing firewalks. We traveled the world. It was amazing. And because I was behind on internet stuff, right? We launched our company. The internet was kind of like, you know, it's some other thing over there. And we got behind this, and as a result of that, we had this systemic failure. And since then, that happened in 2013. And since then, I have really been putting in the time, putting in the effort, and looking for a home, a place where I'm going to plant my flag and say, this is it. This is it. And this is it. And the thing, and there's a lot of opportunity out there, right? Every single one of us. If you're in the industry, every single day you're getting hit with something. Every single day. Today I got hit up with something else, brand new. Watch out for this. You know, the Democratic, you know, they're operating a social media platform and they're going to elect who the leaders are, all this mumbo jumbo, right? So it's constant. It's constant. And so I have a lot of opportunity because I do have a bit of a brand and I can handle myself, but I've been taking my time. I'm not really eager to jump in, and the money's out there. But I've made the decision to be here, and the real reason is because of Tammy and Susan, okay? When I got started with Pure Profit Pro, I'm all the way up there. I'm a $22,000 guy. And I remember, Tammy, I called you out of the clear blue sky on the telephone. I looked you up. And it was because you came out. I'm following what's going on with the group. I see that you're a top income earner. I see that you're always posting. I remember you came on a radio show. I seeked you out, right? I called you up. It wasn't that long ago. And started feeling each other out, having a couple conversations. And then you introduced me to Susan. And I was blown away. As Susan said, it's like looking in the mirror. What I have been looking for, because I have to exist in this internet world, what I've been looking for is the human factor, humanizing the digital realm. And that's the hook for me, okay? Because that's what I'm about. That's why I've been doing these radio shows. And this is actually my second Google Hangout for the day. And I did 2 radio shows, and I'm in the game, right? And this is the only place that I really feel at home because of the transparency, because of the human touch. And I am just out of my mind with excitement. I truly am. And I'm going to bring my resources. We're going to do live events for real. We will be doing something hopefully before the year is out, but we'll make sure when the time is right. And, I don't want to let too much out of the bag, but for the really big thinker, for the people who are playing at a very high level, what we're talking about is doing like massively cool events. I'm talking like all-inclusive style mega events at exotic resorts where we're going to do crazy firewalking style stuff and the Eric Worreys of the world coming. I'm talking the real stuff, all right, for the person who really is committed to their business. And again, I'll say this. Anyone can do this. Anyone can. The question is, will they? And as we move forward, I'm going to insist that you guys get a book. It's called The Slight Edge, and it's by Jeff Olson. I don't know if you've ever. It's amazing, and he talks about the simple itty bitty. It's the little tiny things. And you know what, Tammy? You know better than 400 days of walking every single day.
Yes, I read that book last year.
And how many times have you said, it's raining, I don't really feel like it, I got to travel today, yet you do the simple thing. And what'd you say, 115, 120 pounds?
115 now, yeah.
Okay. And the reason is because you have mastered the art of the slight edge. If it's easy to do, it's just as easy not to do. And so when we talk about what we do here, we talk about generating leads. We have to be consistent. You have to have more people to get to than you can possibly get to. You have to be consistent in your lead gen, and you have to keep it lean when you're talking to people. Most people won't do that. Most people bail. And that kind of is a heartbreaker for me, right? Because it is about freedom. I do have choice. I just moved into a beautiful new home. When we're done here, I'm going out to the swimming pool. I'm just going to be enjoying my life, right? And it's all because, I took the call. I responded. When I got started in our industry, I was broke, man. I had come through. I won't even go there right now because I'm letting that go. But I'm really grateful that I've been given this chance here. And Susan, you are so absolutely awesome. Tammy, Jason, of course, we go back 20 years. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody else that you have on the team here. And I'm all in. I am totally committed to what we're doing here. And massive things await. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. That's awesome, Joe. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're awesome.
Thank you. You let too much out of the bag, though, Joe.
I had a tendency to do that. You didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear it from me.
Anyway, little teasers are good. Curiosity is good, right?
I want to do the fire walk with you, Joe.
It's
awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you so much. So glad you're here. So glad you're here. Ray, I would like to hear from you. Ray.
Am I here? I don't know. I can't see me.
You're here. You're here. And we can see you. We can see you.
No. It makes it easier for me because I can't see anybody. So
Good. Go.
I go. Well, I'll tell you what, just being here, hearing these stories just solidifies why I made a decision to be here. And last year, it wasn't, talk a little bit about my freedom for a minute, just to hopefully connect the dots for someone else if they're looking to make a decision to really move forward in their life and have a business that they can be proud of and excited about, and a community of people that they know they can glean from, I can only say this is the place. And last year I kind of took everything off of my table, and I sat down and I really wanted to look at what I wanted. And I really wanted to be able to have the freedom to work from home, have more control over my life, my time, my family, and not the control, trying to hold on to control, but being able to control your life. And that was one of the things that I really sought out. One thing led to another. I ended up meeting Tammy and Susan, and it was just a match made in heaven, I suppose. But it was really a good match. And I saw what a lot of the other people are saying they saw. One of the things I saw connected was, I used to have real estate. Tammy talked about being a real estate investor. It was something I did part-time, and I had a job. I had a full-time job. So I was always looking for passive ways to create more income, to seek for that freedom that most people want inside their lives, and it's time freedom. And one of the cool things, and this happens daily for me, and it'll happen daily for anybody who chooses to take the step and say, I want freedom. And today, I just want to share this story because it's so fresh to me in my life. And I hope that it'll connect with one of you all out there, whether you're watching a replay or as you're watching this live. But I was out, and I got to be a bus driver sometimes to my kids. My kids are 16, 14, 12, They have friends, or they have a life too that's growing. So I'm driving around. I don't really like to be a bus, especially when I've got things on my mind that I want to do. So here I am driving in a bad attitude. And yes, as Joe said, you're learning these ups and downs. It's this mind game that you're working with on a daily basis. And as soon as I came to a stoplight on a busy intersection, as I was driving my daughter somewhere, and what ended up happening was the car just stopped. And I thought, what happened? This thing has been repaired. This is a good car. It's not bad. So somebody pulled up behind me and said, hey, there's gas just leaking out of your gas tank. And I thought, that probably is the problem. So I sat there and I was listening to a CD because I'm always working on my mind. I'm always working to hear something, as Joe also talked about, reading books, CDs. I try to cover my environment to have this mindset that you have to have as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's seeking freedom, right? So what ended up happening was I said, okay, so somebody pulls up. Well, they know us. They took my daughter to where she had to go, was kind enough to do that. I call a tow truck, and I'm sitting there. And I thought, okay, I could be really pissed off right now, but I get it. I'm here. So what am I learning here? And wasn't long where the tow truck came and got me. I'm talking to the tow truck driver, or one of them, and I come to find out he owns the place. And we're talking. One thing leads to another, and he's asking me what I do. Next thing I know, I'm like, I do online marketing. I work from home. How do you do? Not bad. Next thing you know, he says, how much is it? I said, let's talk. I give you something so you could take a look at. He goes, I want to know how much it is. I said, okay. So I gave him a price. I said, but I got something for you. If you're really serious, let's work something out. Next thing you know, he says, I'm in. I'm going to hook you up with my wife. Boom, boom, boom. So now all of a sudden, a situation that I could have been mad, hitting my steering wheel, road rage, or whatever you want to call it, turns into something that I made productive because I chose to say, hey, this is where I am, and this is happening right now. My life is happening. I'm in the flow, I would say. And that's actually what the CD was talking about, being in the flow, being in destiny. And, that wouldn't have happened if I didn't say yes. That would not have happened if I didn't go forward inside of my life to say yes to something that I felt was right for me, and it was going to take me to on the path to my dreams. So I say this, that today is the day. This is the day you have. This is the time. This now, this sliver of time that you have is right now. So make the decisions to move forward to the things that you want, and get real clear. And you know, Susan's here. I know Tammy talks about this. You know, there's people here who have been doing the do and changed their lives, and you only have to get around that space. You know, some of it will rub off, and some of it you'll work on. But you know what? It'll be worth it at the end, because you'll see yourself in a whole different place, and you'll be a whole different you that you've always wanted to see. And you'll have people patting you on the back and just applauding you, because they understand. Joe understands. You know, Brian understands. I know Paul, and just all these people here, they understand what it is to go through that maze, to what feels like a maze, but you're moving forward to your dreams. So that's what freedom means to me. And I wouldn't want to, I want to do it here. I want to be free with this like-minded group. And there's a reason why you want to be here. You know, that may not be right at the front of your mind, but it's right here. It's in your chest. It's in your gut. You can feel it. You know it. You can feel me right now talking to you. And all you have to do is say yes to yourself. So that's it, Susan. That's what I have.
Thank you so much. Great story, Ray.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Great ditty, Ray.
Love it.
I love your ditty.
Yeah. It brings a different ditty every time.
That's what I call Ray. It's a different ditty every time. I love his ditties.
Absolutely. On that note, Chad, just met you the other day. Now we're face to face. Would you like to come out, tell everybody a little bit who is Chad, and what are your thoughts on the pieces of freedom, the topic of freedom, and the community?
You know, thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. You know, freedom to me means that today at dinner time, my wife says, "Hey, tomorrow let's go to the movie tomorrow at 12." I'll say, "Okay," because I can, right? I own my own schedule, and 10 years ago, I decided to be a stay-at-home dad, and I quit my job cold turkey, and I wanted to dive into this internet land, because I said, if someone's doing it, I can learn how. And now, 10 years fast forward, there are so many resources for anyone to grab onto. And if you really want to learn how to do something, Google it, YouTube it. Every phone here has a podcast on your phone. Go and get a podcast, download for free. It's a mindset that we all have availability to us. That to me is freedom. To do anything I want to do, when I want to do it, because the resources are right in front of you. And now with our team here, you know, you can contact anybody and say, "Hey, I have a question on how to do this, because I've done this 1,000 times, here's how." Or we have a video in our training room. Watch the video and copy and paste. Any resource we have, we're all using, are now available to everybody here. And that is what is so exciting about freedom. If you really want to do something, you can. It will take work. We all have good days, bad days. What we do with those days, what makes us profitable, different. And I can say now, being here for 10 years, you know, I take off probably 4 months a year on vacation. And I make more money on vacation than I do at home. So the joke is at home, you go on vacation more often. And when you get those big checks, man, those big checks pay a lot of bills. Pay a lot of, college tuition to pay the mortgage. And when you do it properly, consistently, they come in over time a lot. Today I'll share this one thing, I'll let you go, is that I did some marketing today and I had 5 meetings. There were 5 meetings with guys that wear suit and ties. They're corporate salespeople. And every single one of them has been doing it for over 20 years. They're very professional. They're very, they do very, very well. But they all work over 60 hours a week. They go over 100 grand a year, but they're never home. They're traveling, doing meetings, never home. And all of them said, I want to be home with my kids. So today, we all have a choice. We have a virtual office. We can do it anywhere in the world. And it's what you do with that information is what will change or not change because you control it. And this team of people here is living proof that we are all come from all different walks of life, and we're having success doing it from home. And we're not young kids. We're all maybe over 40, 50, 60, right? So that way, so that's what I'm gonna say. If you want to, you can download a podcast. You get in the mindset. Google something. Ask for help. We're all here to help you succeed. But it does take work, but it's worth it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chad.
That was awesome, Chad.
Yeah.
Very good.
Grateful to have you here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Dr. Janine,
Did you see how big Martin's eyes got when Chad said we're all over 40?
I missed it.
You're going to have to watch the replay. That was pretty funny.
Okay.
Guys are all over 40. I'm still in my 30s, so.
I'll be 39
Again?
in 10 days. Yeah. Plus 10.
She'll be 39 again.
Yeah.
Age is only a number.
Yes, indeed.
I'm turning back the time. Sorry, but BS on the time.
That's funny. Dr. Janine, would you like to speak? Tell us a little bit about who you are, your freedom, and what you love about this community. I know you love us.
I do. Hi, Susan. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jason and Chad. Nice to meet you. My husband and I are both, we were chiropractors for a long time. We're retired. But, listening to everyone share, the thing that came to mind is I had seen in a store one time, it was a picture frame. It had a quote that read, different faces, different dreams, one common thread. And that's what I think about with this group. Because, we want to work from home. We want the freedom, the income to work from home. We can do it anywhere. But another part of this, that quote also, what comes to mind too is a quilt, pieces of a quilt. And that's what I think about when I think about this community and this business, is that it's pieces coming together that make the whole fabric, everything works. So you've got a great business and you have this community. We have you and Susan sharing the resources and the how-tos. But the other piece that's really important for success is the inside. The freedom starts from inside, breaking yourself free from the limits that we all have a tendency to place on ourselves. And I think what we see, the outward manifestation of what's happened for Tammy over the past year is just really exemplifies what that really means and what people can experience once they become part of this network. So that's what I think about with freedom, and I think about this network, this community, is that it's really a big part of the puzzle of success. And I think you had said, Susan, you put your face and your voice and you speak, you put your truth out there. People can feel it. I mean, I've actually never met Ray in person, but I think I feel like Ray is one of my closest friends, and I met him through video. So you definitely get the connection with people. You can start to really feel if they're real or they're not. And so I just think that the whole piece of the puzzle come together. And that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's like a kaleidoscope of all of these colors. Each person has their own individual uniqueness and powerfulness and knowledge, and you put it together, and it's just a beautiful picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank
Can
you.
I just jump in there for a second? Because I wanted to piggyback off of what Janine said. And when you really start listening to other people in this industry, like, this industry can get really lonely, okay, really lonely. You can make a ton of money, you can make $1 million, but you want to be with other people that have the same like mind, because it's like family and friends don't get it. Like, I was talking to a gal, and she was from just the other day, and I like what you guys are doing, because she says, I want the same thing, but my family don't. Does that make sense? So in other words, if your family and friends don't even support you, you have a place to come here, and that's freedom. Like, that little piece of it is freedom, you know? So, and what you said, Dr. Janine, and what you just said, Susan, about the kaleidoscope, there's a lot of times that people, they have to have mentors, they have to have people that believe in themselves. I believe in other people more than I believe in myself. That's kind of strange, but there's one thing that was a mind shift last year, is when Susan told me that she believed in me. And then she started all these words, and the way she can craft words is amazing. So the kaleidoscope and and just an understanding that literally you can do whatever you want to do. She's like, you can do 15 years I tried to change and try to lose weight. My doctor, he even tried to help me and change. You know what I'm saying? So it's powerful. Words are powerful, but it's the way people say the words. That's the difference. And when they actually say it with feeling and meaning, that's when things change inside you. And that's when you can become unstoppable. And that's freedom. And that's what this partner did for me, a little piece of it. But that's exactly how things start, and that's when you bring that yourself to that next step, and that's when, boom, like you just said, Dr. Janine, and that's when the transformation happens.
Thanks, Tammy. That's powerful, isn't it?
It's really deep.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Kenneth, you young fella.
You're welcome.
It's your turn. What do you got to say?
Hey, everybody. Hey. Well, freedom to me is big. I'm originally from New York. I live in Florida now. But I've been moving basically my whole life. I remember when my father's job stopped working, we had to move to St. Louis. So moving is just big for me. So freedom, I learned a long time ago. I never have to stay in one spot. I can always make a decision to do something different in my life. So freedom is big. The Unstoppable team is just remarkable. These ladies right here give it to you. And what I mean by this, in my field of work is always, I'm a chef by trade. I went to school to be a chef. So for me, I've learned direction is the key. If you know direction, you can get anything done. After being a chef, I worked for a motor company for 7 years. And being there, I learned the same thing. Direction is the key. So when I went into business for myself and being an entrepreneur, all I wanted to find was somebody to show me the directions and not leave nothing out. And what I've learned is you run into the wrong people, they'll show you some directions, but they leave pieces out. With these two chefs right here, they don't leave pieces out. They give it to you just the way it's supposed to go. If you're supposed to bake it for 45 minutes, you bake it for 45 minutes. Thank you, Unstoppable ladies. Thank you so much. I love you guys. That's my piece. That's my piece.
We love you.
Do you mind if I tell a story about the first time you popped into the video box?
No, go ahead.
And this is one of the
I
things.
was in Florida too. I remember.
One of the things I love to do is push people to challenge their own limitations, and one of them is to. Lots of people are afraid of being on video. They're afraid of joining us on this platform, or afraid of picking up the phone and recording a video. And I will push people and pull people and prod people until they do, because this is so important. It's so important to embrace the video. It's just, this is the time that we're in. So anyway, we're on Blab. It's a pretty casual platform where kind of anything goes. People pop on and off, and Kenneth is there, but his username is Out of the Box. And so I'm trying to remember, and I still, just to Janine the other day, I said, what's his name again? I keep Out of the Box, and In the Box just sticks with me. So I'm sorry, Kenneth, but anyway, he did. I just called him out because the comments are beside him going like, come on, Out of the Box, get in the box. So he did. Humor, making people feel comfortable, and that is one of the perks. I know we're bragging up the community a lot, but it's true. We have a way of, whether it's by knowledge or by community, by comfort, or by humor and stupidity, we make people feel comfortable, like Cheers, the place where everybody knows your name. So thanks, Kenneth. And you're a lot less shy.
If you can't feel comfortable around Susan, exactly. If they can't feel comfortable around us, they can't feel comfortable around anyone.
Just a bunch of fools. And Paul, would you like to speak? Tell us, who are ya? What are your thoughts?
Well, after being on this webinar for, 45 minutes now, I'm just kind of blown away. With Tammy and Susan, you ladies are so genuine. It's kind of unreal, being in this business. I've been in this business for 8 years, and look, and we're all open, and how old am I? 36 years old. I'm not 40 years old yet. 36 years old, and still carry a full-time job. But I was in this business for 8 years, and you see a lot of crap in it. You see a lot of fakeness. I think I made my first $100 in business. It come to find out, it was because my upline was doing some shady stuff, and it's just, I'm so grateful for you ladies. I'm so grateful that you get to plug us in with people like Jason and Joseph, and I've been listening to Joseph's Blog Talk Radio at least once, twice a week, and just the realness that comes out of that. And there's been times that I've been riding on the train and just thinking about things, because I work in the financial industry, and just think about things, and I'll listen to that Blog Talk Radio, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear that right now. So, first of all, I just want to thank y'all. There's not another platform, I don't think, that I've ever been on where you can actually sit with 6- and 7-figure earners in the same platform. That's the saying goes, you will be, or you are, or you will be those that you hang around the most. And it's so true. There's people watching this today that you don't know what to do. You're broke. You want to do something, but there's just something mentally that you can't break through. And I've been there. And to me, that's freedom. Freedom is breaking through the mental barriers that keep you from success, whether it's your own mental barriers, or the people in your life, or the people that you think have opinions about you that really don't. And it's those imaginary people. I've been there. I've been there recently. And, it's just, I'm blessed to have a family who backs me up in this industry. My wife and my child are in the other room right now, and they're getting ready for bed and stuff. And I told her I'm going to be on this webinar. She said, go ahead, baby. And I know there's a lot of people who don't have that. that's a part of freedom. Part of freedom is, for me, a big deal is really breaking those mental barriers. I mean, I've owned houses and I've had houses foreclosed on, and it wasn't for any reason, but because I had a mental barrier. I mean, I lost it was in debt $200,000 at 32 years old or something like that. 200,000 plus in debt because I had something that was a potential gold mine, and I sabotaged myself. And you're listening, and you're watching a whole bunch of people who are free thinkers, and we didn't start to be. A lot of us didn't start our career as someone who was open-minded or was really unstoppable. A lot of us started our lives with letting people's opinions get to us, letting our own opinions about our own lives about ourselves get to us. And this is a community. This isn't just a group. And I actually, a lot of people, when I promoted this, my leads, I shot this to all my leads. And usually when I get leads, I shoot them to the opportunity video entitled Pure Profit Pro. And today I just had to shoot them here because you got to understand who you're going to be joining, not just the company that we're pushing you to, but the community that you're joining. And it's more than just marketing. It's people who are either it's a whole bunch of people who are really on the same path to unstoppable. And we're not, the unstoppable is a path. It's not a destination. You know what I mean? I mean, Tammy was unstoppable before she lost 115 pounds. But she took it to a next level. Ray was unstoppable before and I've known Ray. He was in my wedding. He was a groomsman in my wedding. And he was unstoppable, and he's one of my best friends and someone who I look up to. But even when and I don't know if he told this, but even when he was in the oil field, 500 miles away from his family, he was still unstoppable. He knew that he had a goal and he was going to achieve it, but there was barriers that he had to break through. And there's people here who you're unstoppable, but you're still consistently breaking through barriers. It's like there's a thing called a juggernaut, and I don't know what the actual term is, but I just know through the comics, Juggernaut was a guy who just broke through walls, and he just ran through walls. He was unstoppable. And to be surrounded by so many people who have the same mindset, same goals, like-minded people, it's just kind of surreal right now. So I'm just going to wrap that up. I hope that's really freedom to me. Freedom to me is breaking chains of all the mental barriers, all the crap, all the opinions. That's really freedom to me. So, thank you, ladies. Thank you, gentlemen, for teaching this young buck, teaching this young guy. It's really surreal right now. So that's it.
Thanks, Paul.
Wow, Paul. You got me teary-eyed tonight.
Again, he does it all the time.
What's that?
I know. You got me teary-eyed tonight. Listen, what was so fun and so powerful, and I know Susan felt the same thing, was when you posted that one big check and your wife was just smiling. There's one thing that will stop a spouse from wondering if this would work is money. So that was so cool when you did that. There's the check. Read it and weep, I feel like saying to people.
Did you see the video where she made me smell it?
Yes.
Yeah.
She makes me smell it. Every time she something paper, she makes me smell it because I don't know why, but she just does.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That was so cool. Hey, welcome, Robert. Yeah, cool. Thanks. I'm glad you're here. This is the cool thing about anytime you have skepticism, you have to realize you have to just drop your, just be open. You know what I'm saying? Just be open to the opportunities, because if I hadn't been, when I was 20, I started going to with real estate. You know what I mean? And so what we teach here is to get that person their lead right away, to get that check right away, because then what it is it's validation. And validation can just literally drop all of your whatever, your worries, your blocks, whatever you have. I call it a block. So the validation, it was phenomenal. I mean, so I'm telling you, that was awesome, Paul. So validation is king, is what I call it. So is cash, but validation is king. Good job.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Thanks for sharing, Paul. Brian, last but not least, and not one of the young bucks.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Not the oldest one either, though, but that's okay.
He's 39. He's 39 tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
We bring out the wisdom at the end, right, Susan?
Yeah, thank you. But, you know, what do they say about being at the right place at the right time? And that's what I'm seeing here, and that's what's coming together. And as I look at the screen, and I think Dr. Janine talked about a quilt, and I'm looking at it like a tapestry of, you know, individuals that are different. We all have different backgrounds and things like that. And what's interesting to me and what makes a great point to others that may be looking in is that there's a power that's here, a power that they can lean on, a power that they can glean off of, and it gives them the opportunity to grow. And one of the things that we talked about is freedom. And what freedom means to me is, how can I help someone else with the freedom that I've gained from the financial gain and everything else that comes along with this big ticket. And I just got off the phone with a young man. He's floundering in his life. He has nowhere to go. He's in some other online things, and you know, some of the online things didn't offer him any support, anything else. And I said, listen, I said, I'm doing an online meeting here anytime now, and I had to get off the phone with him. And I said, I'm going to send you the recorded version of it. And I said, this will help you. Not only will it help him in his mind, it'll help him in his spirit and his soul, and help him in his entire life. But then he could get involved with what can he do? What can he do with his future? What can he do with his freedom? And what can he do with his time management? And then he also had to tell me, he says, my full-time job isn't offering me what I need to live on. I said, you can get that here. And like I said, what we have to offer is such a strong tapestry of strength and longevity to guarantee prosperity for the people that come in, because there's nothing like this out there. And I'm so excited to be part of the group, okay? And I'm excited to be with Tammy, Susan, Ray. I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, you have a roller coaster, you go up and down. I mean, for 30 years, I had my own business. I had my own brick and mortar business. I was successful, but I didn't have a group of people like this. It was family-owned business. You know, your brother, your father, your family members, they don't always agree with you on what the decisions are that you're making. I have family members that don't agree with what I'm doing right now. They said, what are you doing online? I said, listen, it's an opportunity. One of the things I was looking at, Ray, I shot this to you yesterday. You know, they talked about, you know, Kodak, you know, the Kodak camera company had a vision back in the late 80s. Well, where are they at today? They're gone, okay? They're talking about certain percentages of people being out of work. Brick and mortars are going to be gone. That technology is going to take over. Automation is going to take over. Where are those people going to go? I know, you know, Kenny and Ray, you worked at automotive plants. Automation is taking over. So these people are going to have to come somewhere. And you know where they're going to come? They're going to come online, and they're going to find people like us, and they're going to find that we have something to offer them. And it's the freedom and security that freedom offers us to give to them, to say, hey, this is where I want to be. And that's what I see here with this group. Okay? That's my ditty.
Thanks, Brian. That's awesome.
Awesome ditty, Brian.
Thank you.
Usually after Usually after everybody speaks, I have some sort of profound thought or closing thoughts. But to be honest, I don't tonight. Simplistically, I'm just simply grateful to be here, each one of you on the panel. I've listened intently to what you said. Thank you so much. And I don't have any closing thoughts. So if anyone has something short, sweet, and profound with some impact to say to close this out, I would really appreciate it. I honestly have nothing. That might be a first, hey, Tam?
I'm kind of scratching my head here tonight because I'm thinking, really?
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. Joe, I know you always have something profound to say. Would you like to close out?
I was going to say, I think we should close out with Joe. I just
oh, there you go. We're saying the same thing again.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing again. Joey.
Yes.
Everybody's got to call him Joey because he is a Joey. I mean, literally Joey. Ever since the first time I got on your radio show, I just was so welcomed and I felt so at home. And now you're in our house and it's just awesome. You know what I mean? I just absolutely I admire you, how you can talk and just.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really, really do. I want to thank everybody for inviting me here. I feel so comfortable. I really, really do. And I do want to invite everybody to join me in the morning. Okay, we have this thing that we do every single morning. I want to thank those of you who have gone there and joined in. It is an interactive forum, okay? It's a place where you can come. It only is 15 minutes. I put myself on a timer because, you know, we just got to get busy. It's first thing in the morning. It's only 7 in the morning at my house when I'm actually doing this. That's why I get up at 5 so I can be prepared. And I will tell you that one of the things that I will close with, and I'm going to urge everybody to do, is get off the media. Okay, I start my day every single day. I have these responsibilities because I do these radio shows. So what I do is I get up and I start looking for content. Entrepreneur, Inc. magazine, Success magazine. I start digging for content and one thing will lead to another. And regardless of how I feel in the morning, because sometimes I don't really feel like it, right? I get up in the morning, I'm like, again, I got to do this again. I've been doing radio broadcast. I never miss. The one we do for Pure Profit Pro in the mornings, I started it, I think, maybe 60 days ago, 75 days, and I've been there every single weekday. I never miss. And it's because the community is so important to me, and people really are looking for that place to go. But my real point here is to, like, you know, saturate yourself with good content. You know, forget about Fox News, forget about the presidential thing. Let that go. It's not going to nurture your soul. You know, in order to have big time results in a business like this, you're going to have to manage your emotions and you're going to have to manage some stuff. That's the real challenge. And by plugging into a community like this, every single chance I get to come in and plug in, I am there. There's nothing more important. When I can come here and I can hear from you guys, and it was so great to hear from everybody here today, but there's such a good melding of minds here that really does, it does inspire me. So, you know, when you start your day, plug in, get yourself into some good material, right? Get yourself into something that's going to nurture you and bring you to the finish line for the day. That's what I do every single day. And I urge you guys to join in, right? I mean, this thing I do in the morning, it's only because it's what I do. And I encourage you guys to jump in, and everyone can participate, just like here. Everyone has a voice and they can share their voice. And I will also say leadership begins with you. Each and every one has an opportunity here. Whenever, and Tammy, you picked up on this right away. I remember I began promoting you, okay? I saw you on Facebook. We have a page, the Pure Profit Pro page. I started checking you out, so I immediately started promoting you. You know, you didn't even know me yet. I'm like, oh, look at this woman, this Tammy, she's doing an amazing job. And somebody commented and was like, oh, Tammy's my sponsor. And you were like, hey, it's promotion. You responded something like, you know what, this is a business of promoting yourself.
Yeah.
It is, right? And I will tell you that I believe, and I got this from Malcolm Gladwell, in order to grow an organization, we have to have one leader for every 100 people in the group. Okay, so I know that our group is going to grow, and our group is going to require leaders, people who will take the baton and march in lockstep with everybody else, and holding the brand and holding the mission without distraction. And your chance is to jump out into the fray, right? Start engaging in the Facebook stuff. Start jumping onto the radio broadcast, coming to these type of events, coming to the one on Monday night, the Money Call. Every chance we have to get ourselves out there. And you know what? I notice that's how I found you, Tammy, because I'm looking to see, okay, who's really engaged. And there's plenty of room. One thing I've learned is there is so much room at the top. It's like when you can just stretch out like crazy. You know, they're all done. People really are shy about jumping into the fray. So I honor everyone for being here. Thank you, Susan, for giving me the microphone again. I thought you knew better than to give me the mic, because I'll go for another half hour. But again,
hey, I can listen to you for another half hour.
Well, I want to thank you guys, for giving me the opportunity to share what I know to be true, right? There are some things that you think, some things you believe, and then there are some things that you just know. And I just know that I'm in the right place with the right people at the right time. So that's it.
Thank you.
Standing ovation.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thanks again, each of you, for speaking and showing up here on the panel with us. I'm honored to share this space. And on that note, let me see. I'm going to stop.